Hey guys, this is Dr. Joe Borio with this week's Thought Flash. And I'm kind of excited today because I've got Rob Sinnott's book, which was given to me by Dr. Bill DeMoss, Dr. Billy D. And he runs CalJam. He runs the Dead Chiropractic Society. And he's got CalJam coming up in February 2011. And not to sound self-serving, but I have the honor of speaking there this year. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. They're looking to have the biggest turnout this year, so it's pretty exciting, and it'll certainly change your life. Gave me a great inscription in here. It calls me the James Brown of chiropractic, so that was pretty cool. I had the great opportunity, as you guys know, to be out there and to speak at the DCS Clubhouse, and really had a lot of fun and enjoyed speaking with Billy and some other docs out there, Dr. Rick and so forth, and Dr. Brad Glowacki, so that was an honor as well. In regards to philosophy, that's what this book is. This is actually kind of an extension of Stevenson's book, which was the original textbook on chiropractic philosophy. That's what Sinnott's book is, and it's basically a contemporary version of chiropractic, and it goes through a lot of the same aspects that Dr. Stevenson went through, like I said, but kind of written in today's language. It's got a lot of Fred Barge in there, which I love because I love Fred's interpretation, Dr. Fred's interpretation of BJ and Didi, and it's got a lot of Dr. Rob Sinnott's interpretation. So really great stuff to read. One of the things that really struck me when I read it is the amount of detail and effort and time and information and cited references that go into this book, and it's such a volume of love and such a dedication to chiropractic. So when I look at something like that, I think our hat really needs to go off to people like Dr. Sinnott, because what he did and the effort he made, and I'm sure he's not going to get rich on a chiropractic textbook, so he really did it for chiropractic, and those are the people that we really got to take our hat off to. That being said, I wanted to just talk about a little bit about the philosophy, since that's what he talked about. And I have so many docs that call me and then are struggling, and it's certainly sad, and I certainly don't want to see any chiropractor not do well. And the question is why? And I look at them, and they look at me often, and will ask, geez, how is it you're so successful? When I ask them a couple of simple questions, what's your business plan? Do you have a business plan? And I have you fill out a questionnaire if you're somebody that is considering our coaching program. My other question is, what's your philosophy? And you can really tell within a few moments of the conversation of whether or not they are going to be successful, or where their problem lies. I mean, if you don't have a business plan, that's a problem. Marketing plan and a business structure within your office, because sometimes we get that poor man complex in the chiropractic profession. But the reality is, if you don't run your office like a business, you don't have an office or a business or a practice, so you can't help anybody if you can't pay your bills. So that's number one, and that's really important. Certainly the patient's interest or the practice member interest always has to take precedent over your own. And I think if you stay congruent with that, you'll never have a question of loss of integrity or character in your practice. And I think that's vital as well. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trying to understand how to bill an insurance carrier if you're going to bill somebody, and trying to extract the best you can. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm certainly not anyone to judge that. But if that's your primary purpose in practice, if you're spending more time in an insurance seminar than you are about reading innate intelligence in the Green Book and Didi and reading Sinnott's and reading Jim Chestnut and reading Fred Barge, if you're spending more time on codes and CPT codes and procedure codes than you are on understanding what it is we do as chiropractors, then there's an incongruency there in your practice, and that's a problem. Secondly, like I said, is the philosophy. So do you have a business plan? And secondly, do you come from a principled assessment? That doesn't mean you can't use modalities, or I have people ask me that a lot as well. I don't care what you use. The question is, what's the objective intent of using anything? And if your intent is not first and foremost, really only and solely the improvement of the integrity of the nervous system through the adjustment, then you're not practicing chiropractic. You're practicing allopathic natural medicine and manipulation and treatment of spinal injuries. And again, that doesn't make you a bad person or evil, but it's not chiropractic. Chiropractic, defined under the philosophy of what our intention and our origin was basically and simply to improve the flow of innate. And you absolutely have to have the understanding, appreciation, recognition of universal intelligence and innate intelligence to be an effective chiropractor. And I mean a true chiropractor. And by that, I don't mean to cast judgment, but I mean to be actually practicing principled chiropractic. So what the heck does that mean? That means when you look at people through your eyes, you have to first understand that there is a force that's greater than yourself. I'm not trying to get into spirituality and even talk about God and what created anything, because I don't know. And BJ told me in his book to where we didn't know there'd be a window. So he doesn't even address that. What he does address, though, is that the recognition of that energy, that force, that intelligence. There's something universal in that intelligence that gives all matter its form. And then when I take that and extend that to life, something living, that's the innate intelligence. That's that something extra. That evolutionary, if you will, design by the universe herself that's been there for billions of years, that had it all figured out. And that our job as chiropractors is to recognize its existence, respect it, and then work in harmony to ensure that it's fully expressed in that person's life throughout the entire lifespan of that individual. So while there are living human beings here on the planet, your job is to ensure that innate intelligence expresses itself through the body to all the cells all the time. That's your job, because we know that as soon as you dim the light a little bit, like with a dimmer switch, as soon as you turn down the energy flow, the quantity and quality of energy, that the body goes in the first stages of dis-ease, not disease, sickness, and illness. They go into the first stage of dis-ease, and it's dis-ease that leads to disease, sickness, and illness. You know, the inability of the body to comprehend itself, in the words of Fred Barge. The body's loss of comprehension to its environment, meaning that your body's constantly responding to outside stimuli, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, the humidity, the things that you're breathing in, viruses, bacteria, foods that you put in, whatever that might be. Your body's constantly regulating itself towards that external stimuli. And the bottom line is, if your body neurologically isn't intact, it can't respond properly. So it makes a little bit too much of something or not enough of something, but it's certainly not doing what it's supposed to be doing. And as a result, we get very sick. The process of disease and early death starts to happen. And the beauty of this is this, that, you know, years ago, I think chiropractic was founded only on that philosophy, even though there was a science to it and an understanding of anatomy and physiology and so forth. Now, when we look at the research that's there, and we look at MRI, functional MRIs that show improved efficiency, we see changes in brain activity, we see changes in optical response time with adjustments, we see changes in visceral function with the adjustment, we see changes in cerebral activity regarding depression, bipolar, schizophrenia. But it's amazing, the science. So you don't have to believe in chiropractic anymore. It's not, you don't have to just found it on philosophy, though it should be. You have an enormous amount of science to justify, to sharpen the sword, to get you excited, to build your self-confidence, to build your passion and your level of certainty, to go out there and want to put your hands in every man, woman, and child, and infant, and baby that's out there. They're showing research now. You're seeing research that shows babies right in the uterus, how they're in position that can cause them to be subluxated. So my God, it's absolutely essential that these infants are adjusted right from birth. So and let's be realistic on the effects of that. If you have a mother that comes in and she needs care, isn't she a better mother if her nervous system's healthier? Isn't she a better wife to her husband? Isn't she a better teacher or worker? Or isn't she better in every aspect of her life? And doesn't that behavior, if you will, or that happiness or that health extend to all the other people in her life? I mean, and the same is true with the husband. Isn't he a better husband, a father, a teacher, a worker, a better person in humanity? A better steward to the planet? And that's the effect of what it is we do. And when you can look at it through those eyes and you can take on that responsibility, feel comfortable with what you do as a chiropractor. Hey, I'm a chiropractor. I'm not a nutritionalist. I'm not an exercise kinesiologist. I'm not a massage therapist. I'm a chiropractor. My job is to make sure that innate flows through the body. And certainly those people need to pay attention to other things. But my job is this, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Boy, I'll tell you, you'll be powerful. Your message will be powerful. You'll be clear. Your level of clarity and certainty and excitement and passion will increase. And people just want to be around you after that. Well, listen, this has been Dr. Joe Borio with this week's Thought Flash. You guys, remember, go out there and serve the masses as best as you can. Serve those people, those children, all those lovely people you should be honored that walk into your practice. And remember, may your innate flow from above, down, inside out. Have a great week.
best friend game.